Hello, everybody, and welcome to this free training session from Laymoon and Gazelles on the best tools and techniques from Lean Six Sigma that saved $1.8 billion for GE. Here with you, my name is Salim, and I will be your co-host for this webinar. I'm so excited to be here with you, with Mr. Santosh, and I'm really excited to be with everyone here to see you all here with this event. We announced the event for more than a week right now, and we have so many registrations for this topic. So I am so excited with you, and I don't know if you just slipped in or just registered for the event. Congratulations for that. You're gonna learn a lot today. So with that in mind, let me get started. So in this event, you're going to learn from and hear from Mr. Santosh. He's a Lean Six Sigma. He's a Lean Six Sigma certified Master Black Belt and DQA, SKEA, and MRM Innovation Awards assessor with more than 27 years of experience. So I'm really excited to be here with you, Mr. Santosh, to give us all the insights on the Lean Six Sigma and the tools needed in any industry around us. So I think you are in the right hand. So me, myself here, Salim Haddad, I will be with you here as a co-host. I am a software engineer at Laymoon. Laymoon is the number one search engine in GCC. We provide you the top quality and best training certification in the industry. We have more than 1.5 million users every month, and almost 400,000 are course seekers. So we have 2.5 million registered students so far, and we have more than 5,000 courses. So any kind of fields you imagine, we have courses right away for you. We are passionate about delivering these courses for you in terms of physical courses or online courses or virtual classes. So we are so excited to be with you here to provide you this amazing topic for all of you for free. So this is Laymoon, and we have a collaboration with Gazelles. Gazelles is an excellent training center. They are established here in Dubai for more than 6-7 years right now in 2014, and they provide the top quality Six Sigma courses, Lean Six Sigma courses, and they have the best expert in the industry. So I think you are the right hand, and I'm really excited to be with you all. Are you excited? Yes? All right. So one more thing I need to point out here. I know you might have a lot of questions in your mind. That's why we have a Q&A session at the end. So stay with us to share your questions and your consent. So me and Mr. Santosh will answer all your questions in the Q&A session at the end. However, I want just to point one more thing is, if you stay with us till the end, we have a gift from Laymoon. We have a surprise gift for all attendees here in the event, is exclusively from Laymoon. So stay with us. We will share with you the gift. All right. So now the topic for today will be the best tools and techniques from Lean Six Sigma that saved $1.8 billion for GE. I think we're going to make one quick polling about the assessment of the audience here in the session. So I will start the polling now, and Mr. Santosh can take over. Can we merge some of them because the limit is 5? So can we just put 5 at the last one? And if you are 6 or 7, just put it in the comments. All right, we see some results here. Perfect. Great. We have 16, 17, 18 people answer this question. 19 and increasing.
Wow.
Cool. I'm gonna wait for just 1-2 minutes, or let's just wait.
And Salim, some of the people have posted in chat. Yeah?
Yes.
So I can
gotta
see
share
that most of them at 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yes, we have 31% so far is number 2. So I'll just wait for a few seconds and share the result here on the screen.
Okay. Great.
Right, 24. Come on, guys. 25. All right. Cool. 26. When we reach 30, we will stop and share the result. Okay, few more, 4 more. Come on, guys. Tick, 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 tick. All right, I'm gonna post it now. And the result are 50%. How much?
50% are at
50% are number 2. And we have in the chat as well, few people answered number 6 and 7. No one? No one in 6 and 7. All right, great. Okay, so the mic to you, Mr. Santosh. You can judge now.
Okay. So thanks everyone for participating in this poll. Now I understand the audience now. So most of you are in the region of 1 to 3. That means around 73 plus 78. So around 88% are into 1 to 3 category. That means you are still and you have heard of Lean Six Sigma and you know what it is on some of the basics. Okay, great. So
Great.
shall I start now?
Yes. So Mr. Santosh now will take over and share your screen.
So I will share my screen. Yes. So cool. Can you see my screen, everyone? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So good evening, everyone, and some of them maybe good afternoon. I think I was told that this audience, some of the people are from India and from Saudi and from UAE. Okay, so let's start with some kind of sales speech. Though I am not a salesman or I'm not a marketing guy, but now I hope you are, many of you are interested in this Lean Six Sigma certification, and most of you are curious what it is. So if I tell you, that this Lean Six Sigma certification is your entry ticket to the land of better opportunities, higher salary, it will improve your business acumen, sharpen your analytical skills, make you change catalyst, and it will bridge the gap between your students and the professional. It will make you a better leader. It will be able to stand out from the crowd. I think I'm speaking too much, right? So you'll not believe me. Okay. So let's talk of some facts. Now between two of us, most of the things, most of the people now after COVID, they're looking for a job. So what is the first thing that they look at? What we look at is a job package, right? So let's talk figures then. So when you're so keen, about making money, right? So why don't you do this one single certification that will not just get into the job, but it will open upon the door for world of success. So if you don't trust me, then let me talk you straight with some kind of fact sheet. So this is a salary comparison of Lean Six Sigma belts. For a green belt, the average salary is $60,000. Black belt is around $107,000 and $123,000 for master black belt. And this is again the data of 2015, which is almost 5 years back. Okay, which is when the survey done by Indeed.com. There is another website which is there, SalaryExplorer.com. You can go to that website and see what is the current state. Which must be more than 25% of these figures. Another thing, another maybe motivation for you why you should do this Lean Six Sigma certification is, if you look at the overall average salary rise, of these Lean Six Sigma belts and those who are involved in Lean Six Sigma deployment in the organization, is they get around 7% salary rise every 18 months, and 90% of them get bonus and increments as compared to other quality professionals. So I'm sure now you are motivated, right? Okay, so let me stop this sales speech and come to the real topic of today. So today's topic was you're here to learn about Lean Six Sigma tools and techniques and methods which has helped these Fortune 500 companies to save more than $500 billion since 1987. Now, out of that, if you see these companies, most of these are Fortune 500 companies. They were able to save these huge, amount of money by by using these Lean Six Sigma tools and techniques and methods in the areas of customer satisfaction, productivity improvement, optimizing the output, streamlining the process, and reducing defects. Now, most of the companies, they have stopped showing this cost savings as well. Those who are now reached to the and the next stage. Okay, so coming to the today's topic, I'm sure you're working in all whichever organization, maybe it is manufacturing, transactional, or services. What is the goal of the organization? The first goal of the organization is to generate revenue, correct, and generate profit, and have this sustainable growth. Okay, they just want one-time revenue or one-time profit. Every organization is looking for sustainability. Now, this after COVID, this sustainability has gained more importance. Because most of the organizations are struggling because of the sustainability issues. Now, the challenges before management, how to achieve this sustainability. The first is they have to work on reducing the operating cost. There is no choice. Improve the delivery, making it faster, and improve quality. Now, if you look at this quality, cost, and profit relationship as such, traditionally, the traditional thinking is if you have to improve on the quality, the cost will reduce and it will reduce your profits. But the new thinking is if you improve quality, the cost will reduce and profits will improve. So that's a new way of thinking. That's a paradigm shift. Now, how to achieve this? So for every organization, there's a fierce competition which is going on. You're not like Apple or Samsung, where they have, again, the Apple and Samsung, there is a competition which is going on. Every organization wants to be competitive, right? Now, to be competitive means what? Become competitive means what? What you need to do? The first thing they need to do is you need innovative product and service, right? Then only you will be able to be competitive. Now, if you have got a good innovative product and service and good features, which are different, which are differential factors, what you will be able to do? The organization will be able to increase their sales price. They will be able to increase the market share. Yeah, and that will lead to improvement of revenue. So organization, as we said earlier, what is the goal? First is to improve revenue. So this is the only way you can improve on the revenue part. Now let's come to the other part, that is profit. Now to have profit, organization need to reduce the defect. They should have a rework-free product and services. Now how to achieve that? To achieve that, there are three ways. One is you have to reduce waste. We'll see those wastes and explore those wastes, what are those lean wastes are. The second is you need to work on reducing your warranty cost and penalties and returns and so on. And at the same time, you have to work on reducing the cycle time. Okay. The cycle time, not just for the existing product, but for the new products as well. Most of the time we are seeing the new product development takes more than 6 months, 8 months, sometimes years together. So that is also an important part. A cycle, so time is the dimension of quality. Okay. So once you are able to work on that, you will be able to reduce the operating cost. So operating cost is nothing but the cost plus the wastages. Okay. So once you reduce your operating cost, it will improve your profit margins. Now to achieve these profit margins, revenues, you need to plan for quality. Okay, now like financial planning, every organization does a financial planning. Right now it is going on as well for the next year, what kind of budgets we should have for different activities. Similarly, organizations need to plan for quality, right? Which are the projects that we are going to do? Which are the activities that we are going to do? How many people we are going to train? Then only the quality improvement will happen, and then only the customer delight will happen. Okay, so quality, the definition is quality is equal to customer delight. Now, again, how to achieve that? Fortunately, we have these two antidotes, for West. One is Lean and one is Six Sigma. So let's explore it on a high level. This is not going to be in the detailed class of Lean and Six Sigma. It's just an overview of both these methodologies. So let's start with Lean. Okay. So what organization, so in terms of, customer, voice of customer, I'm not keeping this sound open for you. Okay. Customer wants faster, better, economical product, right? But the conflict is they want more number of products at low price. They want this, today. But there is a sense of urgency you need to create in your system, right? You have to manage with less inventory, manage perfect quality, and we need on-time deliveries. Now, let's start with how to achieve this, how to satisfy the customer, because there is a customer and that's why you have business, right? So customer is at the center of your business. Customer is paying you your salary. Now coming back to the Lean, so Lean has its origin from Toyota production system. So Toyota production system is benchmark for its best systems, methods, tools, and techniques. And Toyota is benchmark for its innovation, for its sustained revenue for last 80 years, of Toyota's existence. They have not taken any bailout package. They have managed to improve their revenue, improve the profit, as well as innovation. So what is that thing, what are the secret of Toyota production system? That was, you can say, there was a study which was done in 90s, by US government. US government sponsored this study of under motor vehicle improvement program, and this gentleman Jim Womack, and there were others like Daniel Jones, Mike Rother. So these professors, they done a 5-year study on what Toyota is doing differently, what Japanese companies are doing differently, and why they are competitive. And then came the first book, which was published in 90s, The Machine That Changed the World. And the second book was The Lean Thinking. And from there, the world understood the secrets of Toyota, and from Toyota production system, now it is, it has become a lean enterprise or lean management system. Now, most of the transactional or service processes, they have understood that the lean principles are applied not just in manufacturing, but in services as well. Now, what is the definition of lean? The lean definition is, lean means it's a methodology, and there are tools which are very simple tools which will transform your process to deliver the customer value faster, and then improve your workflow, and it will eliminate waste. So these three words are very important: the value, flow, and the waste. So if you see this lean principle, you need to understand first who is your customer is, define value from the customer perspective, map the value stream, map the processes which are adding value. Okay, create that flow, identify those wastages, and remove those bottlenecks, remove those barriers, and establish pull. Customer will pull the value from your processes, and then pursue for perfection. It's a never-ending journey. Okay, it's not just a one-time exercise. So that's what the definition of lean is: to add value from the customer perspective, improve the workflow, and reduce the waste. Now, this is again another important word, waste. Okay, what do you mean by waste? So Taiichi Ohno, who was the MD of Toyota, he has invented this 7 waste, which are known as team votes. Okay, which if you identify these 7 waste, you are going to add value. Okay, for which customer is ready to pay you, and you will be able to reduce the defects, and you will be transform your processes. Okay, from customer perspective. So these are the 8 ways of lean, which Taiichi Ohno identified in 50s and 60s, and on which the entire Toyota production system is based on. It's a relentless effort they're taking for reducing these wastages. Now, as per the lean definition, or as per Taiichi Ohno's definition, or Toyota's definition, only 1 to 5% activities add value, and 95% to 99% are these wastes. Okay, so challenges in identifying these wastes. Now, if you see these wastes like this, you can remember it by the name Team Woods. Okay? The first is transportation, the inventory, motion, waiting, over-processing, overproduction, defect, and the eighth phase was added afterwards, which was skills or the intellect of the people. Now let's see this one by one. Let's say transportation. So when you're looking at this 7 waste, you have to use the word unnecessary before that. Now when I'm saying transportation, you'll say, okay, transportation is required. Put that word unnecessary transportation. Okay. So what is the definition of this waste is? So any wasted movement of material as well as the information. Okay, that is transportation waste. Now, for example, in warehouses, I've seen in many of warehouses, the fast-moving material is kept at the corner, and the slow-moving, waste is the slow-moving products are kept at the near the loading area. Now, there is unnecessary movement which is happening of material, right? Now, if you look at the entire value stream, suppose one raw material which is critical for your process, it is available over here, maybe in your manufacturing facilities in UAE. The supplier is available, the quality also is good, and the delivery also is not a problem. But suppose that you are importing it from some other country. It's again a wasted movement of material. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the transactional or service processes, unnecessary information, unnecessary emails, unnecessary documentation, unnecessary reports, all these are transportation waste. Now, let's see the second waste. Second waste is inventory. Now, inventory, if you look at traditionally, it is, it comes as assets, but in lean terminology or lean methodology, inventory is liability. Okay, so that's a paradigm shift you have to look at when we are looking at inventory. Maybe inventory is a word which is there used in manufacturing for raw material stock, for work in process stocks, or for finished goods stocks. So any supply in excess of customer requirement that is necessary to produce goods or services will be called as waste. So inventory is again, inventory becomes slow moving, it becomes non-moving, it becomes obsolete, and you have to work off sometimes, so it says a waste. Now, what is important here? You need to optimize the inventory. Okay. In service processes, the inventory means the amount of work which is pending at the workstation, that you can call it as an inventory. Let's go to the next waste, which is a motion waste, the movement. Now here we are not talking of movement of material. Here we are talking of movement of people or machines, which does not add value to the product or service. Now, when I see, like in manufacturing, the way the layout of your the workplace, I've seen in one of the warehouses here, the average movement of the person was 10 kilometer in a day. Now it's good for his health, but it is not, definitely it is not good for the customer. Customer is not paying for this unnecessary movement of the person, wherein he's not adding any value. Okay, he's not transforming anything or product or service. Similarly, in service processes, you'll find there are different ways, the people work for. There are many times you are searching for information, searching for reports, searching for supplies, searching for files, searching for information. So this is mainly because of inconsistent work methods, lack of workplace organization, and the layouts. Yeah. Sometimes I've seen in hospitals here, emergency room is on the 5th floor of a 10-story building. Yeah, unnecessary movement will happen. Okay, now coming to the next waste, waiting. Now, waiting is the biggest waste in services. 80% of the waste in service processes is because of waiting. Waiting for sign off, waiting for information, waiting for emails, waiting for some other process to complete, waiting for approvals. So it's huge wastages are happening. In terms of services in waiting. So 80% of service processes this will have this waiting issue. And again, the causes will be lack of training, lack of appropriate metrics, inconsistent work method, and maybe improper use of technology as well. Okay, coming to the next waste, overproduction. Now again, this word looks like mostly from manufacturing. Now, what do you mean overproduction? Overproduction, the definition is producing more than the customer requires or producing faster than the customer requires. Now, for example, if you are working in manufacturing and if you are producing, if you are working in a bottling plant which is producing mineral water, now the customer requirement is of 500 ml bottles, to be delivered in 1 week. But because of your changeover times are high and you have, you want to show to the management that we have produced so much of liters of production, you are continuing with your 20 liters. What will happen? That 20-liter product will lie in your warehouse, because there is no customer there. So what has happened here? You have produced more than what the customer requires. Okay, and overproduction is the biggest waste in manufacturing. As waiting is the biggest waste in services, similarly, overproduction is the biggest waste in manufacturing. Okay, in service processes, what do you mean? What is the meaning of overproduction? Producing faster than customer requires, working on something which is not urgent and not important, and ignoring which is urgent and important. That's again overproduction. So the causes of overproduction are your incapable processes, lack of consistent schedules, poor communication, unbalanced material flow, and bonuses, the behavior that reward production, which allows a lot of imbalance in the system. Okay. Let's see the next waste, over processing. Now, over processing, what is over processing? Processing, here we are talking of processing itself as a waste. Okay. Not the actual processing, but it is not adding value. So enhancement that are transparent to customers or work which could be combined with other work is called as over processing. Suppose in terms of manufacturing, if customer requires say a 50 micron, but you are again doing another process and making it more finer, but customer is not ready to pay you, customer is not appreciating that excessive thing. In project management we call it gold plating. So endless refinement, redundant approvals. In one of the companies they have seen there were 75 signatures on one of the approvals, unused reports, excessive reports. Those reports nobody is reading. Those are directly going into the file and dustbins. Okay. So causes of this overprocessing are using new technology inappropriately, ineffective policies and procedures, and steps that are not needed to provide the good or service. And the final one, that is the defect and the rework. Okay, I think you are aware of rework. So rework is also waste because you are using your resources, but you're not producing right first time. Okay, so not meeting customer expectation the first time is called as rework. And if it is requiring inspection or rework to fulfill those requirements, and we know the defects, the scraps, which are happening in manufacturing as well as in service processes. So it is again, the causes will be incapable processes, insufficient training, inadequate tools, and sometimes high inventory levels. And the final one, the eighth waste, which was added afterwards, it was not added by Taiichi Ohno, but this is again an important element. That is the skills of the people and the intellect of the people. Any failure to utilize the time and talents of your employees, okay? Not getting that employee engagement, involvement, managing, at a micro level. So roles that don't challenge your employees, lack of accountability, blaming the person, not the process. So these are all which are waste which are related with the skills. Okay. So we have seen these team words, Now let's see one video and identify these waste, and you can put it in a chat. Now whatever 7 waste that you have seen, now Salim will run this video for you, and you have to see these 7 waste, and you have to propose solutions as well. Once you see this waste, once you identify this waste, you have to propose solutions. Is it okay? Great. So Salim, you can start the video.
I'm making some toast for my wife. Honey, I made you some toast.
Is it raisin toast?
Okay, so now we will give you 2 minutes, to identify this waste, which you have seen, that team woods, the transportation, inventory, movement, waiting time, overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. Ultimately he has produced defects. Yes. So please write it down in your chat. Okay, which are the 7 ways that you have seen? Yes, I can see the safety issue. There is waiting, yes, defects, rework, and without using gloves, yes, that's a safety issue. Have you seen the transportation? Hello, waste of butter. Yes. What was that? Waste of butter was what? It was over processing, right? Motion. Yes, unnecessary movement. He didn't inspect as well. Very good. Waiting. Waiting is the waste here. Over processing. Yes. Over processing was excessive butter. That was over processing. Overproduction. Now why the overproduction has happened? It was ultimately his wife did not wanted that butter toast. She wanted raisin toast. So what was that? Why it happened? Customer did not identified. Excellent, Mohammed Faiz Khan. He is voice of customer not captured. Technical know-how. Okay, but technical, I don't think there was any problem with technique. Yes, maybe the right. He might not have used the right tool. Time it took. Okay, but there was a timer for it. Yeah, 4.11. Inventory, waiting, all the things, poor equipment, poor requirement gathering. Yes, that was again voice of customer not captured. Excellent, Soumya. Customer demand not captured. Yes. Customer not satisfied as well. Skills, yes, maybe. Is not. Transportation, you should have saved time of stress by gathering the items together close to him. Excellent, very good. Osnova has given some solutions as well. So what now start giving solution. Now we already identify all these waste. Any inventory related things where the inventory was? How many loaves of breads were there? Has anyone observed? Hello. Wastage of resources. Yes, 4 breads, 4 slices. Okay. There were 4 loaves of breads, and whether the fridge was organized. Yeah. What fridge was having? What happened there? Excellent. The fridge was not organized. Yeah. And it led to searching waste, right? So guys, you have found out lots of things. Now give me the solution. I am Team Wood, so give me the solution. No, it was not cheese. It was butter only. Charles. Because it was it was very hard. He directly took it from fridge. So what he could have done to solve the problem, of over processing? Motion can do can do some work, another work. Mohammed is giving some suggestion. Excellent suggestion. In that waiting time, what he could have done? Feedback, get all the information before processing. Yes, excellent. To reduce that changeover time and to organize the workplace. He was supposed to first identify, yes, that is the voice of customer. He could have reduced the overproduction defect. Excellent, nice. Yes, Ahmadiyya has given some excellent solution. Ahmadiyya Umar, wash dishes. He could have done that wash dishing during that waiting time. proper requirement and understanding. I think he is going to reduce, a lot of time, and it will be evaluated for the customer point of view as well. So I think we should applaud Ahmed for giving that suggestion. Yes, during the waiting time, he could have made butter ready. Yes, that is also excellent. R. Lakshmi Narayanan. Good suggestion. You should have arranged all the things which are required for the process. Butter could have been sliced properly. Okay. What else? Whether butter need to be sliced? Again, can you think on that? How you can reduce the over processing? How you can reduce that time? Okay, he could have adopted 5 years. It's again a generic thing. Yes, he could have arranged the fridge so that the searching time can be reduced. Asking wife in need. Okay, guys, I think we have seen that. Now let's run the. Now you all have become now the lean consultants. You have already identified the waste and you have given him all the solutions. Check quality of toaster. I think there was nothing wrong with the toaster. It was fine. It was a timer. He has put it like that. Would have kept small butter pieces ready, during waiting time. Excellent, Soumya. This is a good suggestion. Butter need not be cut. It should be in a soft condition. So he should have kept butter before he started his process. That could reduce the time, and that can reduce his over processing, the excessive butter that he has kept. Excellent. So I think all of you have become now lean consultants, and you could save billions of dollars for your organizations now. If you are able to identify this waste in your processes. As per the lean definition, 1% activities add value, 99% are waste. Challenge is in identifying this waste. Now, Salim, can you show the video, the second video? Now, all of these participants have suggested a lot of things, let's see that Teamwood has listened to them or not.
Absolutely.
And let's see the impact of all these lean consultants.
All right.
Yes.
What type of toast would you like?
Wheat.
Okay. How many slices?
Just one, please.
Very good.
See here, he has captured the voice of customer now. First, yeah. That's the first thing, define value from customer perspective. See, he has changed his location now. He has changed the layout now. The toaster is on this side, so his movement has came down. The transportation waste is reduced. Another, Ahmed has given the suggestion, he should wash the dishes during that waiting time. So he is following your improvements, whatever your improvement that you have suggested. Yes, the butter is ready here. Butter is in soft condition. Butter, cutlery, everything is available here. So he is applying a tool called SMED. The changeover time is reduced. He is doing all these things parallelly. Okay, now he is enjoying his work as well. Earlier he was in a very stressed mood and very grumpy mood. Now he is enjoying his work. That's again, he is motivated now. Another thing, if you have noticed, there were 3 loaves of breads over here. So this space is available now. Okay, so space is also cost, right? Earlier there were 3 loaves of breads over here. Now it is he's managing with only 1 loaf of bread. Excellent. Okay, he's following, someone has raised the issue of safety. Now he's following some safe and hygienic practices. The toaster is doing its work. There is nothing wrong with the toaster, Butter is in now soft condition. He doesn't have to cut that butter. Okay, so now his process is productive, safe. Customer is also satisfied. She has given her feedback. So earlier the cycle time was 4.11 seconds. Now it is almost half. So he was able to manage within 2 minutes, and it is most of the activities that he was doing were value added. Excellent, guys. So thanks for the excellent participation in this exercise. Now let me come back to my presentation. Okay, so the first thing in lean is you need to identify the waste first. Then there are multiple tools. There is 5S, TPM, just in time, and on board, Kaizen, mistake proofing, full production, value stream mapping, which we are going to learn during our Lean Six Sigma Green Belt workshop. So these are very simple tools, but very powerful. Telling you. So these tools have helped Toyota in gaining that status of world's best production system, and many companies are using these best tools in the services as well as transactional processes. So that is what is lean is all about. Now let's start with, so lean is all about reducing waste, okay, by using simple tool and by involving people. Now let's start with the Six Sigma. Now what is Six Sigma is, and what is that Six Sigma approach, and what kind of organization structure is required, and what is this methodology is, and then we'll go for the question and answer. Now what is the need for Six Sigma? Need for Six Sigma is, organizations need basically first the standards. So again, standards are like your ISO 9001, 14,000, 18,000, and so on. So first, for continual improvement, you need standard, okay? But that standards also need to be challenged. That will happen when your employees are engaged. That is what we call as continuous improvement. Now the word continuous improvement is now being changed to continual improvement. Again, by project with teamwork, you are going to improve your quality. With Six Sigma, you can get this breakthrough improvement. Now why it's called the breakthrough improvement, you'll see in next slides. Now let's see, there are say 2 suppliers, which are supplying you pizza. I am sure now everyone is hungry. It's evening time. Okay, so there are 2 suppliers here. One is D Pizza and one is Six Sigma Pizza. Okay, so which supplier you will select? If the customer requirement is, if your lunchtime is between 1 to 1:30, and the average is say, it should be delivered by 1:15. So if your customer requirement is between 0 and 30 minutes. Now, if you see this supplier, his average is 15 minutes, and standard deviation, which is again a measure of variation. It's the most important measure of variation, which many of the people are not still aware of, are not using it effectively, but it's a very, very important measure for variation. If the standard deviation of this supplier is say 15 minutes, the sigma value of this process will be between 15 plus 15, that means 1 sigma. Okay, similarly for this Six Sigma Pizza, his average is again, both of them, the average is the same, but the standard deviation is 3 minutes here. The variation is very less. Here, sometimes this supplier is coming early, he's delivering it early. Sometimes he's delivering late. When delivering early, I'm not ready, and I have to, adjust my lunch time, and then again, I have some issues. And if it is delivered late, again, is again a challenge for me. So here the customer is dissatisfied, if something is not within, he is not conforming to the specification. At the same time, if you see this supplier, is having very less variation. Now how we can find out the sigma value from here? So simple, it is simple. From mean 15, what is the standard deviation? You need to add this 15 plus 15, that is 30, right? And from here on this side also 15 plus 15. So only one standard deviation I can fit into this in the customer requirement. As compared to this, I am able to fit in 5 standard deviation within my specification. 15 plus 3, 18. 18 plus 3, 21, 24, 27, and 30. So my process is likely, to produce very less number of defects as compared to this. Okay. So who is going to be my choices? Definitely the Six Sigma pizza supplier. Now let's see some real world example. I think everyone is aware of Amazon now. It's a very giant company, and they do all these kinds of sales, on Cyber Monday and Black Friday. This is the data of I think 4 or 5 or 6 years back when they have done this Cyber Monday, and it was a whooping sale. More than $2 billion revenue, $36.8 million. Sorry, 36.8 million orders were, you know, where they got from the customer. Now, if you look at the average cost of errors, errors per delivery. Now, customer what customer needs? Customer wants faster, better, and economical, right? There is, when you are not following these customer-related things, there is a cost associated with each error. So suppose this cost is say $35. Now, if you calculate the sigma value or sigma level of this process, which is a common metric which has been used by all the multinationals now to demonstrate their process capability. Now, if you see the Six Sigma, we are saying only 3.4 defects per million. So suppose that means if there are 1 million orders, there will be only 3.4 defects. Now, if you look at this 36.8 million, out of, if there are orders, if their process performance is Six Sigma, they will make only 125 errors, and the total cost of errors will be only 4,379. But as compared to Five Sigma, again, it will increase by $300,000. If they are at Four Sigma, it will be around 700, 7,985,000. Then if you go to Three Sigma, see how it is increasing exponentially. If suppose they're at 1 Sigma level, how much they are losing? $5,888 million. Now that is the value of qualities. That is the cost of poor quality. Now most of the companies which I have seen, they are in this region, 3 to 4 Sigma. Some of the companies I have seen, almost 80% are in this region, 2 to 3 Sigma, for their critical to quality parameters. What is critical to the customer? If you measure their performance, most of them you will find in between this 2 to 4 Sigma zone. That means there is a huge opportunity to reduce these costs, which I have said earlier as well. And at the same time, these companies which are at this 5 Sigma and 6 Sigma level, those companies we call them as world class. Okay, and these are the average companies. Okay, now I will give another example. For again, this in air traffic control processes, the total flights handled per annum in US, again, it's 16 million. Okay, 16 million flights they are handling in a year. Now, whether you will accept a performance of, again, here's which performance you will accept, and what will the total cost of errors will be. Because here we are not accepting anything, less than Six Sigma, right? Because here we are dealing with the safety of the person, right? So here there is no cost associated. It's a huge loss, billions of dollars of loss, right? Human life, cannot be converted into, the cost. So here we are not going to accept anything less than Six Sigma performance. Similarly, if you look at the surgical processes, total surgical processes happening in per annum in US is 129 million. Whether you will accept Six Sigma as well performance over here. So here we are expecting a zero defect process, right? The Six Sigma is nothing but it's a zero defect. It's a perfect process. In some cases we are expecting more than Six Sigma performance as well. So why I have shown this table is basically to show the importance of the cost of poor quality, which is associated with the profits and the revenues as well, and why we are calling this as a breakthrough improvement. For example, if we move from Six Sigma to One Sigma, it is almost 250,000 x improvement. I'm not doing 1x or 2x improvement. It's not a small continuous improvement or continual improvement. From 3.4 sigma to 5 sigma, it's again almost 80 times improvement. Here again, I'm moving from 2000 times improvement, 19,600 times improvement. Okay? So here basically I'm not looking at 1x 2x improvement, but a breakthrough improvement, and that's what this contribution of Six Sigma is. So when we look at the cost of waste and the Six Sigma levels and the competitiveness, most of the companies, as I said earlier, it is between these 2 to 3 sigma, and they are non-competitive, where we are losing around 20 to 40% of your turnover, which is huge. Still, the world-class companies are also, they are losing, but again, it is around less than 10% of the overall turnover. Now, cost of waste, when I'm speaking about this cost of waste, is nothing but it's like a cost of which is tangible as well as intangible, which is strategic as well as notional, which is something which is measurable, non-measurable as well. Okay, so Six Sigma improvement strategy is what? It is to reduce the variation, center the process around the target. These are the two things which are very, very important, from the customer perspective and from the business perspective. And I'll give you another analogy of what is Six Sigma is. If you are a shooting expert, where you will get 10 out of 10, it will be at this center. So what we need is more accurate and more precise performance, between this 9 to 10 region. Now, if you see this firing, let's understand what is accuracy and precision is. So with the center of the target taken to the true value of the characteristics being measured, and by these rifle shots, there are 4 combinations which are possible now for accuracy and precision. Okay. So this is inaccurate and imprecise. Okay. Our target is over here. This is both inaccurate as well as imprecise performance. Here it is accurate, but it is not precise, it is imprecise. Now here it is precise, but it is inaccurate because our target is over here. We are precision, the target has shifted over here. My target is over here in the center. And this is what we need from each process. It's accurate as well as precise. Okay, so that is what Six Sigma capability is. Reduce the variation and bring the process to the target. So that is the objective of the Six Sigma is, as observed from this picture. So we have to move from average company to a world-class enterprise, and it will happen not just in one day. You have to reach to those higher levels of accuracy and precision to generate that revenue, profitability, and sustainability. So there are 2 methodologies which are there. One is called as DMAC and second is DMA-DV. Now, DMAC is used for the acronym is for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, which is a structured approach for problem solving. So the best of the tools, Six Sigma practitioners have from Motorola and GE, they have not found out any new tools or techniques and methods. Those tools and techniques were already there. So what they have done is they have just found out around 80 to 100 tools and techniques which can be used for solving the problems which are related with the processes, be it manufacturing, transactional, or services, and he have put it in a DMAC approach. So DMAC is nothing but it's an, again, you can call it the improvised version of PDCA, Plan to Check Act, which was a wheel given by Sir Dr. Deming, which is again who is the quality guru. So the best of the tools, techniques, methods from Dr. Deming, Dr. Juran, Ishikawa, and Walter Shewhart, Ronald Fisher, Taguchi, all these things, they were distilled and put this in this new bottle. It's like an old wine in new bottle, you can say, but which is very effective, I can say. So it's a DMAC approach, which is used for problem solving. DMA-DV is the approach. Again, the acronym is define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. So there is some kind of tools overlap here and there, which is used to develop new processes, products, services to meet the customer requirements. And again, you need to involve your suppliers as well. So once your DMAC waves are over, then you can move towards the design for Six Sigma. You can increase your scope of your projects as well. So Lean Six Sigma, both are synergistic. Lean will improve the process performance, waste elimination, cycle time reduction. Six Sigma will improve your process performance in what is critical to the customer. Here the bias for action, here the bias for analysis. We are using a structured approach here for problem solving, for solving complex problems. Here in Lean, we are using Kaizen events. What is Kaizen? Every day, everyone, everywhere, there is improvement. So involving your team members, involving everyone, using this value stream mapping, 5S, TPM, etc., all these tools. You don't need a explicit and implicit infrastructure here in Lean because you need to involve everyone. Here you need a right infrastructure, some kind of organized infrastructure which can, because here you are improving the processes by project. So Six Sigma quality, again, these are synergistic. They have in combination Lean and Six Sigma. It's a lethal kind of weapon to fight the war on waste. So who is involved in Six Sigma? The champions, the master black belt, green belts, yellow belts. So we have all these certification courses, and each one has to play its role. So for each project, there will be a champion assigned who will be the person from the top management. Master black belt, initially that role is played by the consultant, but over a period of time, as the organization gain in the capability of, they do more number of projects, so black belts can take on this role of master black belt. Green belts are again the fully trained individuals who can apply both Lean Six Sigma skills in their functional areas or job areas. And yellow belts can support the projects in their functional areas, so support green belts as well as black belts. So what are the values that you're going to get, by doing this certification? You will be among those 6% of professionals who are certified in Lean Six Sigma. We have done one survey recently, around, this is again from the quality professionals, quality and operations guys, only 6% are certified. So those are basically getting that, differentiation. So you can become a trendsetter or a change agent, you can be a catalyst in your organizational transformation journey towards excellence. And you can be the one who can, present the work in tangible gains to the organization. And this is what our course curriculum is, which is based on ASQ, American Society for Quality, IASSE, and Intertech body of knowledge. Okay, so this is our curriculum, and these are the certificates that you can gain, you can achieve by cracking those exams and the requirements. And yes, I think Salim can take over from here.
All right, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santos. This is an amazing talk that have been that's ever I've seen before. Thank you very much for the great information you provided.
Thanks.
I think we all here learned a lot. We started with a little information about Six Sigma, and now we are having so much information. So thank you again for your time, for your support, and for information that provided for all the students here through Laymoon collaboration with Gazelles. So if you don't mind, I just want to add a few things to what Mr. Santos added to the values that you're going to get through this course. On top of that you will be one of the top 6% professional who are certified in Lean Six Sigma. If you attend this course, you will be able to gain more and more values. So if you don't mind, let me show you the offer that we, in collaboration with Gazelles, we provide you this an amazing offer. So are you excited to see that? I hope you are. All right, so if you attend this class, the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, you will be able to get the following. You will be able to get the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certification, which values more than 3,000 dirhams. I'm talking here the currency in Dubai. It's more than $950 if you are outside UAE. This is the value you're gonna get in this course. Now, in addition to that, you will get access to all the e-learning platform that provided by Gazelles, which will cost 800 dirhams, or the value for that is 800 dirhams. Plus, you will get one live project support from Gazelles as well. They will, value that as 6,000 dirhams, which is amazing. I'm really excited to show you the offer, and I'm sure that you're excited with me. So again, I would like to thank Mr. Santosh for his time. And now it's time for a great surprise that we promised you earlier in the session. All right, so if you want to join this class, the virtual class with Mr. Santosh about the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, this is what you're going to get, and this is the value. And the value for that in dollars are $2,765 if you want to compare that. And of course, we will not charge you that amount. We will charge you only 2,000 dirham. That's the actual price of the course. All right, so which will, if you get it through Laymoon, we will give you an additional discount for about 10%, which will be around 1,895 dirhams. All right, that sounds amazing, but stay with us. We have a few things to share with you. In addition to that, in addition to what I have said right now, we will have money back guarantee in case if you're not satisfied with no question asked. We have a split payment option. If you can't afford pay the full price, you can directly pay half of it or maybe quarter of it, and then you continue the course and pay later if you want. So that's already added to the bundle from Laymoon offer. All right, so the basic offer. Now let's talk about the offer we exclusively designed for all the participants here in this session, which is coming now. Are you excited? Brilliant. We have some people who are excited. Great. So let's move on. And we have the offer is you will get the following. You'll get whatever we said, Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, which value of 3,350 dirhams, access to all e-learning resources from Gazelles, which where values also 800 dirhams, one life project support, which value 6,000 dirhams. All of that is 10,150 dirhams. Now, the Laymoon offer is we offer you 20% extra off on the actual course price, which is 2,000. So the price will be 1,600, 1,599 dirhams only, which if you convert it to dollars will be $425 only. And I think with this price, you cannot find anywhere outside with this competitive value that you're going to get out of this course. So if you're interested, we have a limited seats for this bundle, and grab the seat right now. If you want to get that, use the link now, laim.com/sigma20. Now I'm going to share that in the comments in chat. All right, so now this is not the end of the offer. We have something else that comes as a unique feature for those, or a unique thing that we prepared together with Gazelles for you exclusively, which is a free training course on value stream mapping session, which is value of 900 dirhams. So the total cost will be, the total value that you're going to get is 11,050 dirhams, which equivalent to USD dollar around $3,010. If you get this course, you're going to get only for 1,600 dirhams only, which is equivalent to $425. So I think this is an amazing offer. You cannot find it anywhere else. With this so much information, with this so much care of the course, that Mr. Santosh and Gazelles put into. So we here, I really advise you, and even myself, I might plan to take this course. So it's very promising, and it is very very amazing content that you're going to get from Mr. Santosh. You saw his way, you saw how it's brilliant. He delivered that concept in a very simple manner. So we deliver you the best in the industry. All right, are you excited? Okay, so the link there in the comments, go now and grab your seat. The seats are limited. It's only few seats we have, 7 seats we have so far. So go take the chance and boost your career to the next level. So now is the time for the Q&A session. Mr. Santosh will answer a few of your questions. During that, you will be able to go and get that offer right now, because as I said, it's exclusive for people who attend this evening session. So take the chance now. All right, so Mr. Santosh, we have some questions here in the chat.
So again, to answer the Aisha's question, this is Lean Six Sigma is not just one-time event. It's a journey which is never-ending. It's a relentless pursuit for perfection. Okay, so it's a continuing strategy for all organizations, irrespective of their size or industry or sector. So in Six Sigma, you have to identify Six Sigma projects. You have to improve on. You have to involve your employees. Do those Kaizen events, lean events. Do those value stream maps. So all these tools and techniques, methods, you have to use it continuously. It is not just one-time exercise.
That's absolutely right. And if you don't mind, Mr. Santosh, I want to just add one thing to what you said. Is that actually it is correct. Sometimes we don't know that we are applying Lean Six Sigma or Lean methodologies in our industries. Now, in software engineering, for example, in my background, we apply Lean Six Sigma in many cases to perfect the software that we'll deliver. So without knowing the concepts, we are applying it right away. So
there is a question from Yasir. Hello.
Yes.
What is the relation between 5S and TPM? Okay, 5S again is a tool. No, there is Seri, Saiton, Siso, Sikatsu, Sitsuke, Sort, Set in Order, Shine, Standardize, Sustain, which is a very important tool, under Lean for daily work management, for organizing your workplace. Now, what is TPM is? TPM is total productive maintenance. The companies which are into manufacturing more into machineries, so the processes need to be equipment centric. So there are certain methods, wherein you can create that kind of collaboration of the person who is using the machine and who is maintaining the machine. Okay, so because those companies, those manufacturing organizations, the productivity, quality, cost, everything is related with the equipment, right? So there is again a science which is there behind this TPM. So it is basically there is an overlap, between Lean and TPM, but between 5S and TPM. If you do a 5S on a machine, it will be called a TPM. I hope I have answered your question. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right. So again, for those who asked to share the presentation and the video recording, we will share that, of course, after this session with a different email.
Okay, there was some guy who was asked whether it is employability. Yes, definitely we can help you in getting the right job. Once you are certified. Okay, once you are demonstrated your knowledge and demonstrated the skills that you have acquired. And there is a huge scope, there is more demand and the supply is less, I'm telling you, for Lean Six Sigma professionals in almost all industries, almost all industries, all sectors, all processes. It is going to transform your career, I'm telling you.
Great. Anyone with different questions?
Lean and Six Sigma in construction. Yes, now there is, if you search on Google, Lean construction, you'll find millions of pages on construction, Lean construction topic. There is a Lean project delivery, which is again a unique and agile method for construction. In construction, there is huge waste. Whether it is raw material, there is time. Around 60 to 70% of the construction projects fail, and they are looking at these lean and agile methods, and the tools and techniques for reducing those failures, in terms of cost, scope, schedule. There is a huge application of both lean as well as Six Sigma. So guys, again, understand what is lean is. Lean is adding more value from the customer point of view, using less of everything, less of effort, less of resources, less of space, less of cost, and achieve more. What is Six Sigma is? Six Sigma means zero defect. Six Sigma means a perfect process, reduce variation, bring the process to the target. And that is needed in almost all industries. Now in healthcare, you just search on Google, there is a $1 trillion check, $1 trillion check, what it is. The International Health Institute, in US, they have identified what is the cost of waste, cost of defects, cost of rework in healthcare. It is more than $1 trillion. Just Google on $1 trillion check, what it is. There is a 50-page document on it.
So guys, don't forget, this is an exclusive offer for only people who attend this webinar. Take the offer now and boost your career. All right, we have one more question.
Osonwa Okoro, he has a question that does Lean Six Sigma has any relationship with benchmarking in ensuring sustainability in business? Yes. Benchmarking is what? Benchmarking is finding out the best practices. Identify those best metrics within the industry, maybe outside the industry, and achieve those, those levels by using the Lean Six Sigma methods, tools, and techniques. So there is definitely a relationship. There is definitely a relationship with all best of the tools, like balanced scorecard, benchmarking. There are all 80 to 100 tools, which are applicable everywhere. Yes, in a supply chain as well. Yes.
Great. So I think this is an amazing session we have done. Thank you again, Mr. Santosh. And I was so excited here with you, and I'm so excited here to be with you all. It was a great information, and I'm sure everyone here got a lot during this session. So I think we're going to accept one more question and got it off for this amazing free training session from Laymoon and Gazelles. Great.
Yeah, so we have a group of Lean Six Sigma green belts and black belts, and all Lean Six Sigma practitioners. We call it as a Gazelles OPEX forum, wherein each of these participants, they help each other, in getting the job as well, and job assistance. So yes, we can definitely help you within our capacity and within Laymoon's capability as well, capacity to get a right placement for you.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Santosh. I think this was a great session. We hope to see you in the next upcoming webinars as well, and free training courses from Laymoon and Gazelles. So thank you again. And we are sorry for all technical issues you faced during the login to the system, or probably you didn't receive the email for the first time. So we're trying to improve this product as much as we can. So please accept our apology. All right.
We'll apply Six Sigma definitely, Salim.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.